What is up, guys? So now that the budgets are out of the way, let's look at what Cyber Dragons can really do with the new cards. So this is not a budget deck, this is proper Cyber Dragons. This has Galaxy Soldiers, this has a proper extra deck, this has this has all the goodness in it. So let's look at what it does. So we have, starting up our lineup, we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, our very lovely OTS Cyber Dragon. It looks awesome. So this, obviously, machine dupe for this card is very good. It makes infinity and gets us more advantage, basically. Then 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. We love Cyber Dragon Core. It is the best card in the deck. By far, searches everything we want. Need I explain more? 3 copies of Hertz. Hertz plus Soldier equals very happy Cyber Dragon player. 2 Nashta, so this card brings back just everything from the graveyard, brings back your Rampage, brings back your Cyber Dragon, brings back your Chimera, brings back Cyber Twin Dragon as well, for those that didn't realise. Then we also have 1 copy of Veer for that chain blocking goodness, and 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier for the Nova and Infinity goodness. So yeah, you can choose not to run the Galaxy Soldiers and go straight OTK, but I think I still like this for now because this, unlike the machine duplication, this card is still searchable in air quotes. Cyber Repair Plant still gets you this card. So I think I still like this card in the deck, but definitely not at 3. Then for the Cyberdark aspect, we have 2 Claw to search out our Cyberdark side of things, so Realm and Horizon, and then 1 copy of Chimera because we want to search our Power Bond and OTK a lot with a very big monster. So you can bring this back with Cyber Dragon Nashta, and we're very heavy Cyber Dragon with a small Cyberdark engine, so I don't think any more than 2 Claw and 1 Chimera is necessary. We have the tools to search them. We can get this card in. We can get him Chimera into the graveyard and bring it back with Nashta. We can search it and additional normal summon it with Realm. I don't think more than 1 is really necessary. We have the power to search it. So that concludes the main lineup of monsters that we're going to be using. Then we have our hand traps, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Ghost Belt. I think Ghost Belt is better this format. Ash Blossom is undoubtedly good this format, as it is in most formats. So 3 Ash through Bell. This can, although this hand trap lineup is very subject to the format, you can change this to be whatever you want it to be depending on the format. Could be Nibiru, could be DD Crow, could be if it could be Effect Veilers if you really want. But yeah, so those are our hand traps. Then for the spells, we have 3 Cyber Emergency, searching everything we want. 1 Cyber Repair Plant, searching our Galaxy Soldiers, recycling our things if we really want to. 1 Cyber Rev System, bringing back Nashta, which means this card, bringing back Nashta, basically means we can bring back things like Rampage, things like Chimera. So this card is a decent extender. It is also technically a 1-card Verte as well. Core searches this, link Core into Almirage, use this, summon back Core, make Verte, but then you've got to get the rest of the formula going. And if you have to use Cybernetic Horizon, then you're going to be locked out of Verte. So take with that what you will. Then for the Cyberdark side, we have 3 copies of Realm. Already explained it twice before in our previous profiles, but this card is great. Both a searcher and an extender all in one, and easily searchable by a lot of cards in our deck. And then 1 Horizon, get Eternity into the graveyard is the name of the game with this one. Eternity protecting our OTKs very nicely, so this card, I don't think it needs to be at more than 1. We only really need to use it once. If you don't have a Cyber Fusion to dump, then you cannot use this card. And if you have no targets left, there are very few dark targets in the deck, then you also cannot use this card. So yeah. So that's our Cyber spells. Then let's get on to the other spells. So we have 3 copies of Machine Duplication because this card is very, very good with Cyber Dragon Core, with Cyber Dragon Hurt, and Nashta in tow. It's free extension. Then 1 copy of Overload Fusion. We can still send this with Verte, or we can hard draw it in OTK that way with Sega and Rampage, or we can search our Power Bond and turn it into Overload Fusion via Chimera's effect and make a very, very big Rampage or a very, very big Cyber Twin without the need of Sega. But Sega will make it bigger, even with this. So that is our spell lineup. There is the danger of hard drawing this and not being able to search it with Chimera. There are other lines of play that you can use in this deck. It is not one note. You still have Sega, you still have Nova to OTK that way instead. Then traps, we have 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence and 1 copy of Cybernetic Overflow to round that off. Then onto the extra deck. We have quite a loaded extra deck. There are a lot of good cards in here. So starting off, we have 2 copies of Nashta, 2 copies of Rampage Dragon. This card is amazing. I love this card so much. It's Construct on crack, and it's an OTK tool. It's level 5, so you can make Nova with it, and it's got 2100 attack, which means that you can summon this back with Cyber Dragon Nashta, provided this was properly fusion summoned. So this card is just this is our main OTK tool. This is the main fusion that you're wanting to make in this deck. Just very good. Then 2 copies of Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. You could play this at 1, but I think if you are in the longer game, that's where you're going to need the second the most. And I find more often than not I am forced into a longer game. Usually because the opponent the opponent's deck requires you to play their game and not your own. Then 1 copy of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon for any kind of machine matchup we face. Then we have 1 copy of Cyber Twin Dragon as our other OTK option. This card is also very good. Sometimes the effect of Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon is a bit of a hindrance. This card doesn't have any effects that activate, which means that it will not trigger those pesky effects. Things like it will not trigger Ash Blossom, for instance. Your opponent has to preemptively imperm this or preemptively Veiler it, etc., etc. But it will still be very big, even if they do. And our intended Horizon target is our 1 Cyber Eternity Dragon. This is finally a good card, or at least a decent card, thanks to Horizon. Horizon puts this in the graveyard. You banish this. For that turn, your machine fusions cannot be targeted. I believe they also, if I read it, they also cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. So I was going to say no Dryden, but Dryden's banned now. No imperming, like no Veiler, no Chalice, none of that targeting rubbish. They can still Ash Blossom your Rampage, but that's another issue entirely. So yes, this card is definitely good now with Horizon. So yeah, then off the fusions onto the Xyz to Nova to Infinity. This should be pretty self-explanatory. This is usually our go-to play most of the time. We want to put this up before we put up any other kind of OTK, because this will protect it. This will also, it'll protect us from hand traps, any kind of interruption. It will also, if you are in a longer game, this will also stop the opponent during their turn as well. So yeah. Then Link Monsters, most of the time you're just going to be going into Sega because you're going to be locked out of the extra deck by Horizon, but that's not a problem. This card facilitates OTKs by itself as well. It pumps up a machine with over 2100 attack with another 2100 attack. So yeah, very good. 1 copy of Verte Anaconda. You will be locked out of this most of the time, but it is there just in case you don't need to Horizon. You just need a quick finish with Overload Fusion to make Rampage, etc., etc. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix because I think we want the back row removal from this. The deck doesn't really excel at back row removal in the main deck itself. which is a very big issue for things like there can be only one and whatnot. Those kinds of cards will hurt us the most, so I think this is very necessary. You can make core, climb into Almirage, like use Rev System, bring back core, make this, pop the card, go from there. One Almirage, because this is basically our make Cyber Repair Plant live button. It's just very good to make, to instantly put a card in the graveyard for free. So yeah. So that's going to do it for the deck profile, guys. If you enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and comment and subscribe, or don't. What do you think of Cyber Dragons now that they have all of these new cards to deal with? They are not necessarily Cyber Dragon support, but it is definitely support that we can use, and use it we shall. This is the end of the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time for the Cyberdark deck profile.